Episode 2: Mansa and the Whispering Wombs. In the celestial realm beyond mortal perception, where starlights were knitted in magic, there existed the ancestral realm, which was a place untouched by time or gravity. Here, beings of radiant grace moved like cosmic currents, and their purpose was woven into the very fabric of existence. Among these ethereal beings was Mansa, the radiant guardian. Her form shimmered, which were like part stardust and part moonbeam. She was empowered by her ancestors and tasked with safeguarding the balance between realms and ensuring that hope never diminished in the hearts of mortals. One fateful dawn, as the sun kissed the horizon, Mansa received summons. The Celestial Council gathered. The council was an assembly of ancient ancestral beings who whispered secrets to the universe. Their voices resonated like distant bells. Mansa, they intoned, a darkness encroaches upon the mortal plane in a village called Watamu in Africa. A malevolent force named Dagotha seeks to extinguish hope itself. His shadow clouds at the hearts of women, stealing their dreams, trapping their wombs, binding them with spiritual chains, rendering them barren, and endangering their unborn children. Immediately, Mansa's wings expanded. I shall descend to Watamu, and I shall defeat Dagotha and restore the wombs of women in Watamu, she vowed. And immediately, Mansa left the presence of the Celestial Council. The village of Watamu was deep within the heart of Africa and nestled between the folds of ancient hills and whispering forests. One fateful night, under the blood-red moon, an ancient seal beneath the sacred tree of Watamu was broken. From the crack emerged a malevolent spirit, long forgotten by time. It was a dreadful deity named Dagotha. The people of Watamu had failed to renew the ritual, which was a tradition upheld by the descendants of Watamu at the turn of each decade. But as time marched on, memories faded and the importance of the ritual was lost in the archives of history. Dagotha ensnared the wombs of women, trapping their wombs in shimmering crystal globes. The crystal globes glowed with an ethereal light, and within them, the spirit of countless wombs cried out for freedom. Dagotha tormented the women, appearing in their dreams, stealing their joy, and draining their strength. The women of Watamu had terrible nightmares where they encountered an evil deity brutally harvesting their wombs and unborn babies. Despair hung heavy in the air in Watamu, and the women wept for their lost futures and lost generations. Their arms ached with emptiness. Desperate to find a solution, the village elders sought out to consult the village priestess named Heina. Heina consulted the gods of Watamu. After consulting the gods of the land, Heina revealed that the gods will send a helper and guardian, and asked that all the women of Watamu gather each day at the village square after the sunset and offer prayers to their ancestors. As the women of Watamu offered prayers daily to their ancestors, their prayers were carried on moonbeams and their prayers reached the ancestral realm. And so Mansa descended to Watamu village like a large shimmering object. Her arrival stirred ripples in the earth in Watamu. As Mansa landed, she took her human form. Mansa looked around and saw women huddled in fear with their eyes haunted. Mansa's heart burned with a fierce determination to free the wombs of women in Watamu and restore joy to their hearts. Mansa walked among them, and her touch healed unseen wounds. She whispered courage into their hearts, and her voice was like a lullaby sung by angels. "Fear not," she said. "For every star that fades, a new one ignites." Suddenly, Mansa could hear a gentle whisper in the wind. "You must consult the oracle of Watamu for direction on how Dagotha will be defeated. You must go now." This was an ancestral spirit whispering to her. So immediately, Mansa sought out to find the ancient oracle of Watamu, who was a seer who communed with the roots of the world. The oracle's eyes held galaxies within, and his voice echoed through time. "Guardian," the oracle said, "to restore the stolen wombs, you must seek the lost lullaby, the melody that cradles both mother and child. You must go into the whispering caves where Dagotha keeps the trapped wombs of the women of Watamu and release them." "Is that all I have to do to defeat Dagotha, Ancient One?" Mansa asked the oracle. "No! You will have to use your ancestral powers to defeat Dagotha. But first, you must restore the wombs before confronting Dagotha in a combat. Go now!" the oracle intoned. Mansa immediately understood that her mission was twofold: to rescue and restore the stolen wombs of women of Watamu, and to defeat the deity Dagotha, who imprisoned them. So Mansa started her journey to the Whispering Cave to free and liberate the wombs. But Dagotha was cunning. As he sensed the arrival of Mansa on the land, he sent forth his shadow minions to attack Mansa. Mansa faced venomous serpents and dangerous spirits threatening to stop her, and illusions that threatened to shatter her determination. But she pressed on, fueled by the memory of the tearful eyes of the women of Watamu. Mansa fought them using her ancestral powers, slashing them in the darkness. And Mansa continued her journey into the Whispering Caves, where echoes danced along crystal walls and where twisted trees whispered secrets of ancient spells and forgotten curses. As she entered into the cave, the air grew colder and the ground trembled beneath her feet. She could hear whispers. The voices increased in volume with each step she took further into the cave. Finally, she met with a valley and an area filled with crystal globes. The crystals glimmered below, shattered across the valley like fallen stars. Each crystal held a woman's womb, trapped by Dagotha's malevolence. Mansa felt pity in her heart as she reached out to carry one of the globes that cuddled a baby almost ready to be born. Immediately, she used her magical powers to disappear with every single one of the crystal globes, and she reappeared with them in the Watamu village square. As she landed, the crystal globes lighted up the atmosphere in the village as it was night time. All the villagers were attracted by the light, and they looked attentively with amazement. There, Mansa sang the forgotten lullaby of creation. Its notes resonated with the heartbeat of the earth, and the women, tortured by Dagotha, listened with their tears glittering and running down their faces like dew. As Mansa sang, the crystal globes shattered, and from its depth emerged the tiny souls of unborn babies cradled in wombs and floating in the air. At that time, Dagotha had returned to the Whispering Cave, and he went straight to the area where he trapped the wombs. To his dismay, he met with an empty space, and his rage caused the earth to tremble as he gave a loud cry of despair, which could be heard at the village square. But Mansa stood firm. She cradled each woman's belly, infusing their unborn with stardust. "You carry galaxies within," she whispered. "Fear not, for you are the universe reborn." And so, hope bloomed in the hearts of the women in Watamu as every womb was restored. The women's babies kicked in their wombs, their tiny fists defying Dagotha's grip. Suddenly, a loud roaring sound was heard, and the shadow of Dagotha rapidly flew with force and carried Mansa into the skies for a battle. "Why did you come into my domain? How dare you come here and invade my space? Their anguish sustains me. Their fear feeds my power." Dagotha sneered. His eyes glowed like dying stars, and his voice echoed in the dark skies. Mansa's voice remained steady. "I came here to release the wombs you stole, Dagotha. The suffering of the women of Watamu has finally come to an end tonight. And it is not your space. And I did what I did because it was the right thing to do." Dagotha responded, his eyes blazing with fire. "I will get them back. They all belong to me." The battle erupted, a clash of cosmic energies. Mansa summoned starlight to shield herself from Dagotha's curses. She weaved spells and magic to attack Dagotha, but Dagotha was cunning. His attacks were relentless. Mansa faced Dagotha and she fought harder. Finally, Mansa unleashed her scorching flames and burnt Dagotha. "Your reign ends now!" Mansa screamed. Immediately, Dagotha became weakened and his form flickering. "You cannot defeat me," he hissed. But Mansa had one last trick. She sang a melody older than time passed down from the first star to the last to banish Dagotha to the void where he would never touch mortal hearts again. As dawn painted the sky, Mansa ascended into the skies and her mission was completed. As she approached the cosmos, she looked down from the skies and she could see the women of Watamu, some holding their babies and others pregnant. Their eyes alight with wonder as they danced in the village square, their voices blending into a chorus of thanks, thanking the ancestors for sending a guardian to liberate their wombs and for blessing them with babies. And so, the story of Mansa and the whispering wombs spread all over the land and beyond. It became a beacon of hope for all mothers and their unborn. Mansa returned to the ancestral realm, but her light lingered in Watamu as a reminder that in the darkest nights, hope will rise, cradled in the